somewhere underground. Depth classified, date classified. You sign nothing. You remember nothing about how you got here. You are now a number, not a name, a number. Somewhere above you. 17 floors above, according to a number you counted on the elevator. People in suits are deciding what to do with you. Below you, you try not to think about what's below you. This is the SCP Foundation. And today, you're going to live every rank of it. From the bottom, the very bottom, where people go and don't always come back, to the top, where the people who know everything have decided that knowing everything is the worst thing that has ever happened to them. Before we rank up, let's establish the ground rules. The SCP Foundation is a fictional organization from a creative writing community. But the rank structure, the containment protocols, and the internal logic are so detailed and consistent that we're treating it as real. Because, honestly, the scariest thing about the SCP Foundation is how real it feels. The Foundation's mission is 3 words: secure, contain, protect. Secure the anomaly. Whatever impossible, reality-breaking, mind-destroying thing has been discovered. Contain it. Keep it away from the public. Keep it stable. Keep it from ending the world. Protect. Not the Foundation. Not the staff. Humanity. All of it. From things that should not exist but do. The Foundation has a rank structure as rigid as any military organization, and climbing it comes at a cost most people aren't willing to pay. Rank 1. Class D personnel. The expendable ones. You didn't volunteer for this. No one volunteers for Class D. Class D are death row inmates, criminals, and in some documented Foundation records, just people who were in the wrong place when the Foundation needed test subjects. Your job is simple. Do what the researchers tell you. Go where they point you. Touch what they ask you to touch. Most Class D subjects are terminated at the end of every month and replaced. This is called Monthly Termination Protocol. It exists in the documents. No one discusses it in the corridors. Your first test assignment, SCP-173. A concrete statue that cannot move while being observed. The rule is simple. Do not look away. Do not blink. Because the moment you do, the moment any eye in that room breaks contact, it moves. You survive your first test. You are the first Class D in 3 rotations to survive it. A researcher makes a note. This is either very good news or very bad news for you. In the Foundation, it's usually both. Rank 2. Junior researcher. The ones who thought this was a real job. You came in through the academic pipeline. A PhD in an unusual field, quantum physics, xenobiology, theoretical mathematics, and a very strange job offer with a very long NDA. Your Level 1 clearance means you know the Foundation exists and roughly what it does. You know nothing else. The files you can access are called Safe Class SCPs, objects and entities that are contained, understood, and predictable. The Foundation has 3 anomaly classifications: Safe, Euclid, and Keter. You are told that you will only ever work with Safe Class. This is not entirely true. Your first real encounter with what the Foundation actually contains happens on a Tuesday afternoon when a containment breach alarm sounds in the corridor outside your office. You follow protocol, lock the door, get under the desk. Do not open the door for any reason until the all clear sounds. The all clear sounds 40 minutes later. 3 colleagues are listed as administratively reassigned in the next morning's email. No one asks what that means. Everyone knows what it means. Rank 3, Field Agent, the ones who go outside. Field agents are the Foundation's eyes in the civilian world. They find anomalies before the public does. They assess, report, and contain the scene until a proper team arrives. Your cover identity is airtight. You have a job, an apartment, a social media presence, a history. None of it is real. Your first field assignment, a small town in rural Ohio where 3 residents have reported seeing the same thing in their backyard. Something that shouldn't exist but does. The thing is SCP-1548J, a classified low-level cognitohazard that imprints itself visually on people who observe it under specific lighting conditions. You administer amnestics to the witnesses. You file the report. You drive back to the nearest Foundation facility and write up 8 pages of documentation. Then you go home to your fake apartment and your fake life, and you wonder if the thing those people saw is still out there somewhere. The answer is yes, it is still out there. The Foundation knows exactly where it is. That is not your clearance level. Rank 4, Senior Researcher. Level 3 clearance. You now know things you will never be able to unknow. Your clearance now includes Euclid class SCPs, anomalies that are contained but not fully understood, objects and entities whose behavior cannot always be predicted. You are assigned as lead researcher on SCP-096. SCP-096 is a pale humanoid, roughly 2.5 meters tall. It sits in the corner of its chamber, face to the wall, completely still. It has been there for 47 years. The rule: no one may view SCP-096's face, not in person, not in photographs, not in reflections. The Foundation has a dedicated team whose entire job is preventing anyone from accidentally seeing its face. If someone sees its face anywhere in the world, SCP-096 will find them, it will reach them. Nothing has ever stopped it. You spend 3 years studying SCP-096. You publish 14 internal Foundation papers. You become the world's leading expert on something that no one in the world is allowed to know about. One morning you arrive at work, and SCP-096's file has a new addendum. Someone, somewhere, has seen its face again. Rank 5, MTF Operative. Mobile Task Force. The Foundation's military arm. You left the researcher track. You traded the white coat for body armor and a very different relationship with risk. MTF units have names. Yours is MTF, Epsilon 11, Nine-Tailed Fox. Specialization: recontainment of humanoid SCPs during mass breaches. Translation: when the really bad things get out, you go in and put them back. Your first major deployment is a Class 3 mass containment breach at Site 19. 14 SCPs loose simultaneously. You encounter SCP-049, the Plague Doctor, in Corridor 7, a medieval-looking figure in a black physician's robe and a beaked plague mask. It moves with unsettling calm. SCP-049 believes it is curing a disease it calls the pestilence. It kills by touch. The people it kills, it then attempts to cure by performing surgery. You successfully contain SCP-049 using Protocol 7. You receive a commendation. It goes in a file that almost no one will ever read. That night, in the debrief, someone mentions that SCP-049 asked about you specifically, by name. It wanted to know if you also have the pestilence. Rank 6, MTF Commander. You send others in now. And that is the hardest thing you've ever had to do. You now have Level 4 clearance. The things you know at Level 4 are things the Foundation spent years deciding whether telling you would break you. You learn about the XK-class end-of-the-world scenarios. The Foundation doesn't just contain anomalies, it actively prevents multiple different versions of the apocalypse on a rotating basis. Some of them, according to the files, have already almost happened, several times. Most recently, last Thursday, you encounter SCP-3008, an ordinary IKEA store that contains an infinite interior and a population of hostile entities that hunt humans at night. There are people living inside SCP-3008. They have been there for years. The Foundation knows. Extraction is ongoing. The store does not cooperate. As commander, you oversee the extraction operation. You bring out 43 survivors. You are unable to reach 7 more before the staff, the entities, emerge at nightfall. Rank 7, Site Director. You run a facility. Everything that happens inside it is your responsibility. Your site contains 47 SCPs, 31 safe, 12 Euclid, and 4 Keter class. The 4 Keter class anomalies are the reason you haven't slept properly in 3 years. Keter class means contained, but not reliably. Contained, but the containment could fail. Contained, but we don't fully understand why the containment is working and therefore cannot guarantee it will continue to work. One of your Cater class SCPs is SCP-682, an enormous reptilian creature of near indestructible composition that has survived every termination attempt the Foundation has made. The Foundation has attempted to terminate SCP-68247 times. It has survived all 47. It adapts every single time. Your nightly sign-off procedure includes a direct confirmation that SCP-682's containment is holding. You have signed off on this 1,095 consecutive nights. Tonight, for the first time, the status reads Anomalous Behavior Detected. Rank 8. Department Head. You now shape Foundation policy across multiple sites. At this rank, the Foundation stops being a place and becomes a system. You are now responsible for how the system thinks, not just what it does. Your Level 4 clearance means you know about the Foundation's other problems, the ones that aren't SCPs, the Chaos Insurgency, the Global Occult Coalition, the Church of the Broken God, the Serpent's Hand, organizations that also know about anomalies and have very different ideas about what to do with them. Some want to use anomalies as weapons, some want to destroy all anomalies, some want to free them, some worship them. You are responsible for a Foundation containment policy in the event of a multi-front engagement, the scenario where a group of interest attacks while a natural containment breach is occurring simultaneously. The simulation runs 47 times. In 31 of those simulations, Site-19 is lost entirely. In 9 of them, civilization does not survive the following 72 hours. You approve the policy anyway. The alternative is to have no policy, and no policy is always worse. Rank 9. O5 Council Member. Overseer. 1 of 13. The O5 Council are the 13 individuals who run the entire SCP Foundation. Their real names are unknown to everyone, including most of the Council members themselves. You have no name at this level. You are O5-7. That is all you are. That is all you will ever be for the rest of your life. Your clearance is Level 5, the highest level that exists. You have access to every SCP file, every incident report, every classified document in the Foundation's history. The first 3 months after elevation to O5 have a documented psychological effect that the Foundation calls the weight. Complete access to everything the Foundation knows does to the human mind what you would expect it to do. You learn about SCP-001, the proposal, the true origin of the Foundation, what it was actually protecting humanity from at the very beginning. You cannot tell us what SCP-001 is, not because it is classified, though it is, but because the act of reading about it does something to how you understand the world that cannot be undone. You vote on Foundation policy in weekly council sessions. Your vote carries the weight of millions of lives. You vote on matters that would end careers, nations, and in some cases, physics if they went wrong. Rank 10. The Administrator. The top. There is exactly one Administrator. Their identity is unknown to the O5 Council. Their identity is unknown to everyone. The Administrator predates the Foundation itself, or at least that is what the oldest Foundation documents suggest. No one has verified this. No one has been able to verify this. You have never seen the Administrator. No one you know has ever seen the Administrator. The O5 Council communicates with them through written directives that appear in a secure channel that no one has traced to a physical origin. And yet, the Foundation runs. The decisions are good decisions. The policies hold. Whatever the Administrator is, they are competent. They are effective. They have been running this for a very long time. You receive as O5-7 a direct communication from the Administrator. This has happened to 4 other O5 members in the Foundation's recorded history. The message contains one line. We will not tell you what it says, but you sit with it for a long time. From a prisoner in an orange jumpsuit who should have died in their first test assignment to a number that sits at the table where decisions about the fate of the world are made for breakfast. That is your life in the SCP Foundation. The SCP Foundation isn't real, but the questions it asks are: what would an organization actually look like if its job was to protect humanity from things humanity wasn't ready to know about? What would it cost the people inside it? And what would they have to become to do the job? Next week on Shroudex Explain, your life at every rank of your life at every SCP level, the classification system. Subscribe so you don't miss it.